What's up, everybody? Dylan here from Veteran Aquatics, and today we have a really big update for the fish room. Christmas came and went. I had surprise in laws. That was not so much fun. But I did get the opportunity to build the fish tank stand for the 125 gallons. It took me pretty much all day. So, there we go. Let's go ahead and take a look at it. So you'll see it's double supported, right? There's 2x6s on the side, 2x4s on the front. I had to use 2x4s on the front because I measured a little short and it wouldn't fit with 2x6s. All the weight is supported here by these corners. So if you guys don't know, with glass aquariums, all of the weight rests here on the corners. The idea is that it's going to rest on these vertical posts here, pushing all the weight to the floor. Right, so everything is constructed with 2x6s for the most part, besides these front posts with the 2x4s. There's probably 250 screws. They're 2.5-inch decking screws. My assumption is if they're safe for people to stand on, they're probably safe for aquariums as well. So I'm going to cut the lids like I did with the other tanks with the corrugated greenhouse roofing. I still have probably 14 feet of it left. I've got canister filters down there. They are UV light sterilized canister filters, so they'll help in killing off any harmful bacteria or any of the diseases, icks, stuff like that. The Jaguar cichlids are going to go in the top tank. The bottom tank, I'm probably looking at doing something like green terrors or Jack Dempsey cichlids, maybe both. I'm going to get some big rocks. We're going to scape everything. It's going to look nice. It's going to be your stereotypical cichlid tank. This might be helpful for you guys. So the craft stores like Hobby Lobby and Michaels sell silk plants, and they're relatively inexpensive considering the size of them, but those are aquarium safe. So you'll see down here in the Jaguar cichlid tank, I have that nice floating plant there. It'll be something akin to that, maybe something bigger, maybe a different color, especially for the Jaguar cichlids. I'm going to want something that's either not green and not black, just to help the colors pop. But so the idea, guys, is the 125s are going to go there. This stand that's holding my 10 gallons and my beta tanks is going to go. I'm going to build a 10-gallon stand in between these two. This can still move another foot over there. And then the 255s will get put in that back corner. The bed's going to have to get pushed over. I'm not allowed to get rid of the bed. I tried. And then the fish room will be pretty much done, apart from, painting the stands. One of these days I'll get around and painting the backs of the tanks. And then it's going to be breeding projects. We're going to do more DIY stuff. I would have recorded how to build a stand, but it took so long that it really wasn't feasible to put in a video. If any of you have questions on how to build a stand or the math that goes behind building a stand that can hold, over 1,000 gallons or 1,000 pounds of water, gravel, and rocks, let me know in the comments. I can always help you out with that. And if I need to, I will make a dedicated video because I'm going to have to build a 55 stand and I have to rebuild this 75 and 90 gallon stand here behind me. Right. So I may give this tank to my girlfriend's father when he came over. He has a couple of tanks, but he really, really liked this one. I'm not such a huge fan. The footprint is just hard to deal with. In order to build a stand for this tank, it's either got to be by itself or I have to build the stand, 50 inches high, which trying to get into that 75-gallon tank with a stand that high is going to be nearly impossible. Not to mention, the taller I make it, the less stable it becomes. So that's something to consider. I may just give him that and get another 75-gallon. So we've got the guppies. Still, they're doing good. I did catch the red dragon female, and she gave birth to a whole bunch of fry. I got them all caught in there. The algae got better in this tank. I left the light on too long, and it's back in full swing, so I have to figure that out because it's driving me nuts. The angelfish are still in their holding tank. The Jaguar cichlids, they're doing great in here if they'll come out. Something I did notice, I originally had that really bright LED light on them, but they don't like it. It's a little too bright for them. So I put on this dimmer fluorescent bulb, and I put that floating plant in there to kind of provide them some shade. they seem to come out more and be a little bit more active. He's gorgeous. I love him. So these are actually my first Central American cichlids. I've had Africans in the past, but generally speaking, I was more of just a regular tropical guy. Mollies, guppies, swordtails, neon, silver dollars, plecos, bala sharks, the stuff you would normally find in a pet store. It was actually one of my friends, Kenny, who texted me to let me know that our local fish store had them. I did some research and decided I really liked them, and they were really cool. And since then, I've really been getting on this Central South American kick, which is what's leading to the green terrors and the Jack Dempseys. And when I did my tour of One Fish, Two Fish, he had some really, really, really nice green terrors. And after actually seeing them in person and seeing their coloration and the color of their fins and stuff like that, I just had to have them. So once I get these tanks filled, Jack Dempseys and green terrors. I did actually have quite a catastrophic pipe failure. So this morning, before work, I was rinsing out the sand for these tanks, and I noticed a pool of water on the floor where the hose pipe comes out of the water heater. Turns out the pipe for the hose burst. So these tanks are on hold until I get some time to replace that pipe. It's not hard, it's not expensive, it's just copper pipe and a couple fittings. But time is a very scarce thing at the moment. So just to show you guys some of the other guppies I have. So these are the offspring of just some fancy guppies from one of my local fish stores, but they have Endler in them. So something that might help you guys, I noticed once I switched these guys into this tank from the other tank, they kind of took off and exploded in terms of growth and in terms of coloration. So I think what I'm going to start doing is after a couple of weeks in the 20 gallon, they're going to start going into a bigger tank. I have these 55s to set up, so I'll have those for grow out tanks, and we'll see how they do. I got some brine shrimp I've been feeding them, so that's been helping as well. So this tank, this 55, I've decided I'm going to do a Japanese blue sword Endler planted Corydora tank. So this is actually a grow light. This thing is awesome. It'll grow anything really fast. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to get a bunch of plants. We're going to plant that tank up. I'm going to get a whole mess of Corydoras. I haven't decided which kind. I really like the orange lasers, but they're kind of expensive, and I don't know that I can justify spending $20 20 times on catfish right now. So we'll probably do something like the salt and pepper Corys like I have in the guppy tank. And then, like I said, the Japanese blue sword Endlers. I really like them, and I think in a nice green planted tank like this, they'd look really nice. So that's going to be another breeding project that I'm working on. Getting everything set up, everything separated. I have to get lights and heaters and all that stuff. I'm saving money where I can, but the heaters and stuff like that still cost money. And yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. I hope everyone had a great Christmas. We got New Year's coming up. I know my New Year's resolution is going to be to work on this channel, to work on my fish room, and I just want it to be something that people walk in and they're just wowed by it. You know, even my girlfriend's father, when he walked in, he's like, wow, this almost feels like I'm in a fish store. I was like, well, that's kind of the idea, you know? The dream here is to build a self-sustaining fish room that I can get enough money, you know, out of the breeding projects and stuff like that, where I don't have to pay for fish, I don't have to pay for food, I don't have to pay for lights and tanks. I would like to be able to, you know, eventually make enough money from this where it pays for itself, right? Because this is a fairly expensive hobby once you really get into it, and the bigger tanks you get, the more it's going to cost. So as far as tanks go, I'm running out of space. I have the bow front out in the living room. I don't know what we're going to do with that yet. Still have to figure that out. But I was going through some fish with my girlfriend. I kind of gave her the tank. She's been so supportive of the hobby, and she's actually shown some interest in it. So for her to be interested enough to want her own tank to keep fish in is a big deal for me, right? A lot of people don't get lucky and they don't get that support, especially for something as crazy as this, right? For me, it's fine. I would go bigger if I could. If I had the whole house, I would fill the house with tanks. But most people aren't that fanatical about it. So in appreciation for everything that she's done and everything that she's helped me with, you know, these were my Christmas present. she bought me these tanks. So if I have to give her my little bow front for her to have a nice little show tank in the living room, I'm all for it. I'm just glad that she's supportive of it and that she enjoys it as well. So that's it, guys. I hope everyone has a safe new year. Hope everybody had a great Christmas. If you haven't already, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. The channel's not monetized, obviously, but I do want to grow the community. I want to, get people more interested in the hobby. I want to educate people in the hobby. I want to spread, as far as possible. I'm in a whole bunch of local fish groups, and in the Lehigh Valley here in Pennsylvania, there's a local aquarium club, so I'm looking to get in there, get into swapping and trading and stuff like that. I've been in contact with some of the other local aquarists around here, so hopefully that goes well. Alright guys, peace out, be safe.